Hi, I'm back. I know it's been quite some time since I've made a video, but I'm back today with a video about life on Pluto. So we won't be talking about the dog from Disney, we'll actually be talking about the furthest planet from our sun, which is Pluto. And let's just get right into the video. The topics we'll be covering today are why could life not exist, the underground oceans that might exist on Pluto, and if there is life, what type of life would it be? As you probably know, all life requires water to survive, and this chihuahua here is no exception to that rule. But what you may not know is that life also requires prebiotic materials. So what this could be is any sort of carbon compounds, for example, C6H12O6, which you may know as glucose. So having those prebiotic materials is definitely critical to being able to sustain life on a planet. So another reason why we may not see life on Pluto is because of its distance to the sun. So if we look at this diagram that I drew here, we have Earth on this little orbit on the inside and Pluto on the bigger orbit on the outside. It's obviously not drawn to scale, but the problem with having this distance is that we're not receiving as much solar radiation. So with that weak solar radiation, we're also not having that great of an atmosphere. And what goes along with that is also we get these really, really cold temperatures. It could get to be about negative 229 degrees Celsius there. And just to put that into perspective, here in New York, it's late November and it's 2 degrees Celsius. So you can only imagine how much colder negative 229 degrees Celsius is. Now we're going to move on to talking about underground oceans and how we could possibly see these on Pluto. Keep in mind that this is totally theoretical. We're not sure about anything on Pluto. We don't know a lot about it. But we have this area called Sputnik Planitia, and it's formed over billions of years, and it's in the area of Pluto called the heart, which, as you can see, I'm drawing in here. And it's over time become filled with frozen nitrogen and methane and carbon monoxide and ammonia. So this is definitely an area that researchers have been looking to find any sort of life on Pluto. As we know, a unique property of water is that it's actually less dense in its solid phase. So any sort of water, any oceans we would see, would sit underneath the ice surface. So we can talk about ammonia here because ammonia could be used to keep this water in its liquid phase beneath the ice, as it acts as an antifreeze in low temperatures. So some evidence we've seen of ammonia on Pluto is that it's actually been on Charon, one of Pluto's moons, and we've kind of seen it in some surface deposits on the surface of Pluto. But there are other things that could be keeping the water warm. There's some radioactive decay happening at the core, which would keep the warmth coming towards the outside. We would have the layer of methane that's also coming from the core, and we've also seen evidence of some surface fissures. But again, keep in mind, all of this is theoretical. You can tell from what we've discussed that Pluto obviously does not have habitable conditions for you, me, or any other humans. So who can actually live on Pluto? One type of organism that we could possibly see on Pluto is an extremophile. And these are organisms that can withstand crazy extreme conditions like temperature, pH, and salinity that are previously thought to be uninhabitable for other organisms. An example of an extremophile is a tardigrade, also known as a water bear. And these cute animals are actually super cool because they can outstand any sort of conditions. If you threw them into the vacuum of space, they could survive for quite a long time. So I think that this is definitely a species to look at in terms of finding life on Pluto. Okay, and to summarize, we talked about what types of conditions would make Pluto uninhabitable. We talked about the underground oceans that may serve as a place for life. And we talked about extremophiles, which are a type of organism that could possibly survive Pluto's crazy conditions. So what do you think? Think there's life on Pluto? Leave a comment below and let me know. See you in the next video. Bye!